Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking something incredibly special. It's called Anchors for the Storm, and it's this deeply personal, emotional letter written by a mother to her daughter. Honestly, it is an absolute masterclass in resilience. It's packed with these universally applicable life lessons designed to keep us grounded when, the winds of life really start blowing. So let's jump right into the wisdom she shares, shall we? Right off the bat, just look at the raw honesty here. She writes, I am writing this letter to you not from a place of perfect wisdom, but from a life full of lessons I've learned the hard way. I mean, wow. She isn't preaching from some high pedestal, right? She's not claiming to have lived this flawless, mistake-free life. Instead, she establishes this immediate, profound trust. She's basically saying, hey, these truths, they were hard-earned. They were forged in the fire of her very own mistakes and struggles. And by framing her advice like this, she's really inviting us, and obviously her daughter, to listen with a totally open heart. We know this guidance comes from real, boots-on-the-ground lived experience, not just some abstract theory. So, the letter is built around a few core themes, starting with theme 1, surviving the darkest times. Because, let's face it, when you're right in the middle of a crisis, you don't need empty platitudes. You need a literal lifeline. And to provide that lifeline, the mother brilliantly redefines hope. Think about it. Usually we think of hope as this passive, fleeting feeling, right? Something that just kind of vanishes the second life feels as gray and empty as a winter landscape. But she completely flips the script. She shifts hope from a fragile emotion to a stubborn, active discipline. It's the enforced, stubborn belief that another season will come. Meaning, you don't just sit around waiting to feel hopeful, you actively practice it. You enforce it, especially when it feels like the sun is never, ever going to shine again. I gotta say, that is a massive paradigm shift. Sticking with this theme of survival, she talks about those incredibly heavy moments we all inevitably hit. You know the ones. Those times when the burden is just too much, when you feel like you have absolutely nothing left in the tank and you just want to throw your hands up and let go. Her core plea here is just one single word: don't. She totally validates the exhaustion. She confirms she's been right there in the trenches too. But she urges us to hold on because, as she puts it, that moment is always the darkest before the dawn. It's actually the ultimate indicator that the light is about to break through. Because surviving hard times, it's a process. Think of it like a grueling uphill climb. Step 1 is that intense struggle that demands literally everything you have. But, and here is the crucial part, you don't stay in that struggle forever. As you push through, step 2 kicks in. Your strength inevitably returns. And finally, step 3, you reach the peak. The mother assures us that the view from that peak is absolutely worth the agony it took to get there. It's such a powerful image to keep tucked in your mind when you're stuck halfway up the mountain, sweating and exhausted. Just remember, your strength will return. Which brings us right to theme 2, cultivating the self. So once you've weathered those external storms, who are you in the aftermath? Well, it's time to find peace within your own presence. Now, the mother introduces a concept that, let's be honest, a lot of us actively run away from: solitude. But she doesn't frame it as some kind of punishment or isolation. She actually sees it as a profound freedom. She talks about finding real joy in simple acts, just enjoying a quiet cup of coffee entirely alone, truly listening to your own thoughts, trusting that inner voice. She basically says that getting perfectly comfortable in your own skin is the ultimate, foolproof cure for loneliness. Because think about it, if you are genuinely at peace with your own presence, you're never truly lonely. Building right on top of that inner peace, she completely reevaluates what it actually means to be independent. Society is always telling us that independence is just financial, right? Paying your own bills, having your own apartment, the whole shebang. But she breaks it down into something way deeper. True independence, it's about building your own internal strength. It's about establishing fierce boundaries to protect your peace. It's about being your own #1 advocate. And she notes that when you learn to rely on yourself in this complete, holistic way, you gain a level of confidence and dignity that literally no one can ever take away from you. Now that is what I call untouchable strength. And finally, we reach theme 3, the art of presence. Having built all this incredible inner strength, the focus now shifts outward to warmly engaging with the immediate now. Looking back on her life, she shares this really striking realization. Her absolute greatest treasures, they aren't the grand, monumental events we spend so much of our time stressing over. Not at all. Instead, they're the simple, sensory moments. A stunning sunset, a genuine belly-deep laugh shared with someone you love, the comforting smell of home when you walk through the door. It is so easy to just blow past them, but she emphasizes that these tiny, everyday building blocks are what actually construct your memories.
They are the actual substance that writes the grand story of your life.
And it all really boils down to this one crucial point. She writes, "Remember that your now is the only truly tangible possession you have." I mean, it's true. The past is just a memory, and the future? Well, the future is just an idea. This present moment is quite literally the only thing you can touch and shape. So she tells her daughter, and by extension us, to make today meaningful. She's urging us to live this exact moment so fully and so intentionally that when it inevitably slips into the past, you can look back on it with absolute pride and joy.
The mother signs off by telling her daughter to walk her own path with courage and to keep these hard-won lessons tucked securely in her heart. And, I want to wrap up by directly passing that exact same courageous directive right to you. The mother makes it crystal clear. Your future isn't just something that passively happens to you. No way. It is actively built entirely on how you edit and experience your today. You hold the pen. You have the power to choose what you focus on, how you relentlessly practice hope, and how you cherish those small, beautiful moments. So I'm going to leave you with this provocative thought to apply to your own life the second this is over. How will you edit yours? Thanks so much for joining me on The Explainer, and I'll catch you next time.